All right, we're recording.
6 minutes.
I'm going to ask the audience to please refrain from speaking.
This
Ms.
is
Newland?
Olivia Newland for English 2211, my final presentation project. There were some last minute technical difficulties that I could really not do anything about. So I do have a PowerPoint presentation that we'll be looking from. It's just not going to be on a very big screen. So we will start now. Succeeding in globalization. As we all know, Kronos Computech is expanding. We are hoping to be in New Zealand by mid-2015. Why New Zealand? I'm glad you asked. We expect growth in the information and communications technology. We expect growth in shared services for those businesses that are setting up multi-channel communication centers or banking and insurance back offices. There's also growth in oil and gas, high-value manufacturing, infrastructure, and the food and beverage manufacturing. Some things that we should know before we get into business is that New Zealand has a high standard of living. That was one of the reasons that we decided to go with New Zealand. The literacy rate is 100%. There is little racial tension in New Zealand, and they have extensive services for their citizens. 89% of the population there is of English heritage. The rest is Maori, which is Polynesian, and they were the original inhabitants of New Zealand. The population is slightly less than 4 million, and there are 3 official languages of New Zealand: English, which is the official business language; Maori, which is spoken by about 157,000 people, and they have New Zealand Sign Language. One thing that we need to remember while we're over in New Zealand is that we cannot compare or confuse New Zealand and Australia. They are 2 different countries, and they will let you know that. And then never use the V for victory while you're in New Zealand. So moving on to business etiquette. For communication styles and greetings while we're over doing business in New Zealand, we need to remember that English is the official language of New Zealand for business. When you're greeting others, you need to remember to use a firm handshake and maintain eye contact. Women are also expected to handshake with other women, and men are to wait for women to initiate the handshake. When you greet others for the first time, you want to say, "How do you do?" instead of saying hello. Hello is for more relaxed situations and once you get to know somebody. So, and they also respect personal space, and they also respect privacy. So remember that. You want to give at least a few feet of personal space while you're dealing with the business side of things. They don't like hype or bragging, so we need to refrain from being exaggerating what we're going to do. They don't care what we say we can do. They want to know what we can do and how we're going to do it. They don't hurry in their business decisions, and everything that has to deal with agreements, proposals, contracts needs to be clearly defined and upfront. Always be honest. I don't have that listed up there, but honesty is a main dealing in business in New Zealand, and if you break the honesty, more than likely the business relationship is over. Formality of behavior. New Zealanders are very reserved in business. They are more relaxed when they're in social situations, but they're still not a boisterous people. Boisterous behavior is never okay. Even if you're out drinking, you must maintain a respected, reserved behavior. No gum chewing or toothpicks in public while we're over there doing business. We must also follow the lead of our host or hostess when to become more relaxed. So most of the time we have to be reserved and professional. when we meet people over there for the first time and before we develop a relationship, we need to remember to use Mr., Mrs., and Miss, and then we'll go into first name basis shortly after that. Business attire in New Zealand is very conservative, classic, and neutral. Women are expected to wear dresses, suits, or skirts and blouses and jackets. Men are expected to wear ties, dress suits, white shirts most of the time. And they always stick with neutral colors, so navy, gray, black. When you are in a casual setting, you can wear more relaxed clothing, but they still expect it to be classic and professional, and also with those neutral colors. Finally, we're going to talk about business meals because they do some talking of business during meals. Talking is minimal during the actual meal itself, so if they are going to discuss business, it's going to be before or after the meal. Lunch is for business. Dinners are reserved for social interactions only. Tipping is very rare over there, so don't take it personal if your tip is refused. And then finally, we need to remember that they also have tea times in New Zealand. Afternoon tea is between 3 and 4, and evening tea is served between 6 and 8, and also at evening tea, a slight meal will be provided as well. And that is the presentation for business etiquette in New Zealand. Thank you all for coming. Have a great day.